FEMA's incompetently run, and it costs about 3 times more than it should cost.
I'm hoping
we can spend money on schools instead of giving money to bureaucracy. It takes you so much longer.
Mr. President,
it takes you so much longer. For help. One thing is they are saying they will not be allowed to start for 18 months.
No, that will not be the case.
Okay, I just hope you're right.
You can hold me to it.
There's 4 groups said that.
No, a family.
The people are willing to get a dumpster and do it themselves and clean it out.
And they can.
There's not that much left. It's all incinerated. You have emergency powers just like I do, and I'm exercising my emergency powers. You have to exercise them also.
I did exercise them.
Because I looked. I mean, you have a very powerful emergency power, and you can do everything within 24 hours.
Yes.
What's going on, guys? So Donald Trump has been a busy man. He went out yesterday to North Carolina, all the way to California, from the crack of frickin' dawn all the way till it was nighttime, in the middle of the night in California. Both him and Melania and Donald Trump got into it with woke mayor, this lesbian lady, Karen Bass, you know, this incompetent fool that's responsible for all of these wildfires, along with Gavin Newsom. But he actually got along with Newsom. He just wants a helping hand and, you know, to pretend like he's doing something so he still could stand a chance at running for president or something one day. But Karen Bass already knows she's doomed, so she probably don't really give a crap. But Donald Trump is calling her out for taking too freaking long. They got all of these freaking permits, and they're talking about it might take up to 18 months before people could rebuild and all kinds of ridiculous stuff. And Trump is like, what the 18 months? And then she started reneging, talking about 6 months, and it's just stupid. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this.
Sitting here now, and
is that local?
Yeah.
You got to do. You got it.
So when we're sitting here now, and Mayor,
I don't want to be the only one to give you permits like in one day, and then I find out that the cities, the towns, and the state is not going to give you permits and you know the problem with permits, it only takes one. Yeah. You might need 7 different permits. You shouldn't have any at this point. You should just let them build. And you know, you're only as good as the weakest one. So if you have one that's going to hold you up, but the others are going to give it to you in 24 hours, it's not going to help you very much. So they have to work on that.
So we were told last night 18 months. So if that's not the answer, Mayor Bass, what is the answer? Because that's what we were all told last night.
Well, and let me just tell you that we are going to do everything we can, slashing regulations, expediting everything so that people can begin the process.
You are going to do everything you can. Why haven't you done it already? I know that there was like a new fire that was started, but you guys should be already processing some stuff. And so people are ready the second that all of the danger is over. It shouldn't be, oh, we're going to do it. Trump is a perfect example of how you could do something immediately, lickety split, but these other bureaucrats just don't understand that, or they don't want to, or they don't care. I'm not exactly sure what their issue is. It might just be plain old incompetence.
Right away. You know, we have the Disaster Recovery Center on Pico and Westwood. We have building and safety there. People are already contacting the local agencies. We're bringing our city departments together so that people don't get caught in the loop of going from one room to the next. We want them all to be in the same room so that you can get busy rebuilding ASAP. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. And we will clear the lots. Absolutely. In the city and in the county. We are working together. Both levels of government are working in unity.
Last night, the engineers that it'd be 18 months. Is it not 18 months? Is it like that's
18 months to clear lots? You gotta be freaking kidding.
The answer that we got, and that's what we're all hanging on.
Yes.
So if you're telling us now faster, is it 6 months? Is it, I mean, all of our lives, rents, all this stuff is weighing on this.
6 months is no good.
And the number one thing that we are going to do immediately, and you will see this happen, is to clear out the debris. And you know, we're concerned right now over the weekend because of the potential rain, but we are going to move as fast as we can, but we want you to be safe, and we want you to be back in your homes immediately.
But the people are willing to clean out their own debris. It doesn't cost a lot.
Yes, and they can.
You should let them do it, because by the time you hire contractors, it's going to be 2 years.
If a family...
The people are willing to get a dumpster and do it themselves and clean it out.
And they can
There's
do
not that much left. It's all incinerated.
That's right.
And, it's just going to take a long time if you do. You can do some of it, but a lot of these people, I know that guy right there that's talking. I know my people. You'll be on that thing tonight, throwing the stuff away, and your site it'll look perfect within 24 hours, and that's what he wants to do. He doesn't want to wait around for 7 months till the city hires some demolition contract
If
that's going to charge him
want to build-
$25,000 to do his lot.
Yeah.
I think you have emergency powers just like I do, and I'm exercising my emergency powers. You have to exercise them also.
I did exercise them.
Because I looked,
signed an
you have a very
emergency
powerful
declaration.
emergency power, and you
Yes.
can do everything within 24 hours.
Yes. And if individuals want to clear out their property, they can. Well, yes, but you know that you will be able to go back soon.
Wait, whoa. So Karen Bass, I know y'all can't hear what the people are saying, but they're saying that, well, we're not allowed to go. She's saying, well, of course you can go. Of course. She's like lying because the camera's on her and Donald Trump's calling her out, but the people are like, but you guys won't let us go.
Mr. President.
We think within a week.
That's a long time, a week. I'll be honest. To me, everyone's standing in front of their house. They want to go to work, and they're not allowed to do it.
And the most important
week
thing is
a
for
long
people
time.
to be safe.
They're safe. They're safe. You know what? They're not safe. They're not safe now. They're going to be much safer. A week is actually a long time, the way I look at it. I watched hundreds of people standing in front of their lots, and they're not allowed to go in. It's all burned. It's gone. It's done. Nothing's going to happen to it. It's not going to burn anymore. There's nothing to burn. There's almost nothing to burn. And they want to go in. The people are all over the place. They're standing, and I say, why aren't you going in? We're trying to get a permit. And the permit's going to take them, everybody said 18 months. You said 18 months. You said 18 months.
That's crazy.
And that was last night.
On that.
We are blocked from entering our street. Right. We can't even. This is our first time we saw our house was yesterday.
Mr. President, we're going to be together next week, and during the interim, many of us are involved in, and Tom McClintock, who you know has been an expert on this for years.
That's right.
We are going to be putting conditions on the money that do two things. Require that it be done timely and affordable, and then secondly, that we protect those who will come afterwards. As we speak, there are 6,000 acres burning in my district on the Mexican border. There will be more fires until we include in any disaster relief items which will prevent it or at least mitigate it from happening again. So you're going to see us proposing both of those.
Like water. Little things like
do
water.
that for them.
The party of common sense. See, we're the party of common sense. You're not, in all fairness.
Yes, sir.
We like water to put out fires. It's really quite efficient. All right.
Man, this man Trump cooking the Democrats to their face.
And I would do one other thing. I'd give them a 10%, 15% bonus on their house because they went through hell, and they should be allowed to build a little bit, give them a little bit lot line bonus, give them a bonus on size, maybe a little bonus on height. They went through hell. Some of them had houses where they were restricted. They have to have an 8-foot ceiling. You let them have a 10-foot ceiling. Let them build a nice house, a nicer house than they had before. But I would give them a 10 or a 15% bonus on their plans. And I think it would be very well received because they'll be able to build a little bit nicer house. Do you like that idea, by the way? They deserve it. Because you know what? It's not their fault that this fire took place. This fire took place, could have been stopped. It's not their fault. It's not the homeowner's fault.
Where is the leadership? Why is Trump proposing all of this? Where is Bass and Newsom at with these proposals? Donald Trump, he might be able to win California. Obviously he's president and it's only 2 terms, but I'm just saying.
FEMA was very helpful Now, my colleague who has Altadena here, probably a very similar situation. Clearing the lots, they're probably going to have to clear about a foot worth of soil underneath those foundations to get the toxicity out. So they'll need a lot of help. Those are working class folks in Altadena.
And we did a good job with you people.
And FEMA was extremely helpful.
Yep.
30,000.
That was the old days when FEMA was good. FEMA's no good anymore.
Yeah.
That was when we ran it. FEMA was very good, but now FEMA's not good.
We got to get them on track.
I do have to say FEMA's a big disappointment. We had it working well. We had great people, but FEMA's not good anymore. What FEMA did in North Carolina, you know, they still haven't even gone to certain areas. They don't know what they're doing. And I say, you don't need FEMA. You need a good state government. And when you have a problem in Los Angeles, or when you have a problem even in the state of California, you have your own, essentially FEMA. You fix it yourself. You don't have somebody coming in from a state where they have no idea, like Florida. They come in from hurricanes. They have people staying in Alaska, and now they see, oh, this is very nice. But by the time they get familiar with it, they don't know anything. The FEMA is a very expensive, in my opinion, mostly failed situation. We had great people. We did some great jobs, but each state should take care of their problem and get money from the federal government. It would be so much better, so much more efficient. So we're looking at that, because we have had, and you're going to have problems with FEMA too. You've already had problems with FEMA. FEMA doesn't even show up. It takes weeks before they even show up. And what happens is the state then relies on FEMA, and nobody does anything because FEMA doesn't show up. So it's not a good situation. So we'll make some recommendations on that.
Mr. President, if I can just defend FEMA a little bit.
Yeah.
They brought thousands of people in. I don't know how they're doing in other states. They're doing a good job for us here. They've got a huge center that's open from 9 in the morning till 8 at night. But also, when you have a disaster this size, you need to be able to deploy thousands of people, which they've been able to do. Now, California, if we did it on our own, maybe we'd have thousands of people.
You do.
But if Rhode Island has a Palisades disaster, are they then supposed to keep
How many people do you have in California? 36? How many million? How many million people do you have?
But
you have 40 million people. You're not going to get a few thousand people. The problem with FEMA is they come from all over the country. They end up in arguments with your people from California because they want to do it a totally different way. And I can live either way, but you haven't gotten very much done with FEMA, and all you have to do is look at North Carolina. It's one of the great disasters of all time.
And Mr. President, you can't have Rhode Island maintain a staff of thousands and thousands of people waiting to see if they have a disaster.
Do you know who came in and fixed North Carolina, or the process? Other states, people from all over the country came, and you have the same thing. You have a lot of people from all over the country. Getting the people is not a problem. Getting the organization's a big problem. FEMA's incompetently run, and it costs about 3 times more than it should cost.
I'm hoping
we can spend money on schools instead of giving money to bureaucracy. It takes you so much longer.
Mr. President,
it takes you so much longer
for helping our people.
FEMA has a standard, Brad, and I'm a builder. I was a very good builder. FEMA has a standard that's so slow. They want permit on permit on permit, and then they want permits on top of that. If you use FEMA, you'll be here for a long time. What I'm saying is get the city, get the state to give you immediate 24-hour permits. These people are going to build their own homes. They're going to get them built fast.
Yeah.
How many of the people, could I ask you one question? How many of the people, what are people going to do for financing? What are people going to do? How many people can build a home, a percentage-wise, like where they don't have to go out and get funds? Some people are just not going to be able to rebuild their home because they have a beautiful home, but they don't have cash, right? So what are people looking to do in that case? You're going to have a big percentage, I would assume, Brad, like that. What are they going to do? Go ahead.
Mr. President, without your help, they're only going to get $43,000 from the federal government, even if they have a $500,000
you did something,
loss.
Brad, where every insurance company in the country left California. That's why you have no insurance, because you made it so impossible. People that think like you made it so impossible. And
Brad, me,
every
Mr.
insurance company.
I don't know what
I'll tell you this,
about my thinking.
I've never seen a state where almost nobody has insurance. And I said, what happened? And they said, like 6 months ago, they all left. And 2 years ago, they had different, quadrants. but they left. And you have very little insurance here. I mean, I've never seen anything like it.
We had a lot of insurance companies pull out, but I have no
and
idea.
The insurance companies actually have been warning you. Now, I'm not a big fan of insurance companies, okay? They have their big drawbacks too, but the insurance company, I read the papers very well, and they've been warning California for a long time. They've also been saying, we want water. You don't have water. You're supposed to get fire insurance. And the insurance company goes, you don't have any water in your fire hydrants. So it's a tough situation. I'm not a big fan of insurance companies. I get that.
They're pulling out of Florida
Fred,
as
you
well.
lost your insurance company 6 months ago because the state wouldn't give them what they had to have.
Yo, this man is a monstrous leader. I appreciate the fact that he is not pulling punches. He's not going there and just playing nice with everybody. He's calling out the stuff that needs to be called out because he is actually trying to resolve the problem. These people are doing this little pussyfooting around the issue and trying to give each other high fives and pats on the back is not how you resolve big problems. You clearly have big problems and you need big sweeping solutions. You can't just be over here making little tweaks and little chisels here and there. Nah, sometimes you got to tear a bunch of stuff down and rebuild it, just like how the fires burned everything down. Guarantee you by the time they rebuild it, it's going to look more amazing than it ever looked before. So I appreciate Donald Trump's leadership. I appreciate him going there and basically tackling these woke leftists, okay, and making sure that inevitably the people of California can get a touchdown, whether they like and support Trump or not. I mean, I certainly would not wish, anyone's house, regardless of how mean and crazy those people are, to probably wish the same on people like me and you, the viewer. I certainly would not wish this sort of thing on these people, even if a lot of them are woke, Trump deranged weirdos. But guys, let me know what you think. Do you think that there should be some conditions on the aid to make sure that these problems don't consistently happen again and we just keep just funneling tax dollars endlessly to these people who refuse to acknowledge reality? Or do you think Donald Trump is being too harsh? Also, 18 months for permits? That sounds freaking ridiculous, but let me know what you guys think. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate y'all watching the Black Anomaly Rising channel. I'm out.
That would be they should be able to do it. They should be able to start tonight. I just think you have to allow the people to go on their site and start the process tonight.
And we will.
Okay, good.
You can come back and check.